Hi, my name is Mitzi Allen, and I am the Regional Co-Director for the Ed Rising Conference in Region 4. And up next, we have a panel with our students from UAPB and A-State. Called Time is Running Out, Learning Soft Skills to Ensure College Success. Could I have that panel please come to the stage? Okay, first I'm going to let them introduce themselves. We can start on this end.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Sharon Wyatt. I do attend UAPB and actually graduated my senior major in English education.
Good morning. I'm Rosalia Paris. I am a junior at the university and I am majoring in elementary education cases.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Autumn Davis. I am majoring in middle level education with a math and science emphasis. And I do not go here at UAPB, I go to A-State, and I am a senior.
I'm Jonathan Whitney. I'm a junior here at the university, majoring in social studies education with a minor in coaching.
Good morning, I'm Janelle Bell. I'm a junior and my major is elementary education.
Hello, I'm Skylar Callahan, and I am also a junior, and I also major in elementary education.
Thank you. Can we welcome Ms. Long? This conference is about the importance of soft skills in college. What soft skills do you believe you should have before entering college? And in addition, how did you obtain these skills?
Okay. I've been told I'm supposed to answer first. I think that the soft skills that you should have before you enter college, I would say that you should have adaptability as one of them. Another one I would say would be organization, as well as positivity. I say these three because they're going to be things that you can depend on whenever the other soft skills or the hard skills that you may have are just not working anymore. Just like, you know, I hate saying this terminology or hate using this phrase, but being smart isn't going to necessarily get you where you want to be. It's not going to allow you to, it may get you the A, but it's not going to get you the understanding. So I would say that adaptability and being able to come into a different environment and adapt to those different changes and become who you, be the same person that you are, but become a better person or a better version of who you are in that space, as well as maintain a positive attitude while you're in that space, because sometimes college can be draining, but whenever you have a positive spirit and attitude about things, it makes things a lot easier and it also makes you want to do what you're actually doing. The way that I feel like I maintain these things is I try to place things in my life to kind of help push these things. So I try to put myself in spaces where I'm not comfortable. If you can't tell, this is one of them. I try to put myself in places where like I know that I'm not used to this. This isn't something I usually do. This is outside of my comfort zone. So I try to put myself in those kind of spaces because it allows me to have the opportunity to adapt and to practice adapting and things like that, as well as trying to maintain positivity in that space so that way I'm able to kind of, hey, look, this isn't, what I thought it would be, but, it's still something. So you're maintaining some kind of positivity in that space so you're able to still keep pushing. And one of my main things that I try to keep is organization. So a lot of you guys don't know me, so I can't say if you know me. But I try to be very, very organized. I am an over planner. I am a color coordinated planner. My planner has multiple different colors, but each color has a meaning. And it's the rainbow in my planner. But if it's not in my planner, I probably am not going to do it. And if it's in my planner, I've done it. And it's actually going to get done because I just like highlighting things. So I would say those three are the main important ones, and that's how you maintain them.
I have some. So I think that communication will be one, organization and adaptability. We need to make sure that we are organized. high school, maybe you can get away with not showing up without a backpack. But in college, you need to make sure you have a backpack. You need to make sure that you have folders so you can keep your papers and your graded papers organized. Because you are going to have a lot of work from different teachers, and you need to make sure that you are able to keep up with it and know which paper goes with which class. And adaptability, yes, as Autumn said, I think that you need to be able to adapt to the new environment that you're going to be in. So in high school, you could have went to a totally different school around totally different people than the people that you're going to be with in college. And communication skills, you got to talk to your professors, you got to talk to the people around you, people in your dorm, you got to make new friends, you got to get out that comfort zone that you had when you were in high school or when you were in your old town or wherever you go. Yeah, that's what I got.
Hey y'all, but a soft skill that I believe is motivation and also knowing yourself. It's easy to lose why are you in college. I best believe I'm a person of that sort. But it's okay to know like I'm having a hard time. Why am I here? Can you help me? It's okay to ask for help when you're in college. Trust me, I was there for that person to ask for help, but motivation, like it kept me there. I know this is why I want to do this. This is why I'm here. So when you're motivating yourself, it's also okay to have other people motivate you too. And also, like they said, be positive. It's so easy to be so negative, but just be positive. And be open-minded, be open-minded to good decisions. I mean, y'all make y'all decisions, but just be open-minded to other things that you know that will help you and things that have a purpose and serve a purpose. If you don't serve a purpose, you don't need to do that.
Hey, y'all. Okay, so I do want to ask a question before I go. Has anybody here ever felt burnt out at any point? Like truly, like let's be transparent here. So for me, I would say the biggest thing is to be able to have time management by pacing yourself. As you can see, burnout is extremely real. Burnout happens to everybody, and especially when it comes to college. You're here for 4 years. I get it, you're in high school for that long, but it's different. You don't have anybody pounding you down, asking you questions, things of that sort. So when you do get here, make sure that you pace yourself. That way you don't hurt yourself in the long run.
I would say communication. When you're entering into college or coming to college, it's great to communicate with your professors. Reach out to them. Sometimes if they don't respond back, either go see them in person. And also it's okay, you will have mental breakdowns in college because there's several times where I've had them. There's some of these professors that you can go to and talk to. They will take out their time, whatever they're doing, they'll stop doing what they're doing, and y'all can have a one-on-one conversation. But like I said, one thing, also time management. You have to find a way to make time to do your work. Don't try to put your classwork aside, and wait till the due date to come up, and you be rushing at the last minute. So go ahead and start on it ahead of time, where you don't have to rush. So my main 3 things is communication, time management, and having that mindset.
I would say time management, communication, and having a balance with everything because balancing schoolwork and friends and partying, it's a lot.
Okay. The next question is, in psychology Today article, 50 Ways to Build a Growth Mindset, Arthur Tachiki Davis explains a growth mindset is simply the belief that our basic abilities can be developed and improved through dedication and hard work. It's not so much that this belief is some kind of magic, it's just that without a growth mindset, we don't exert the required effort, and so we remain perpetually stuck. Do you believe that you can go through college without a growth mindset?
No, I do not believe you can go to college without a growth mindset. You need to come into college with the mindset that you're going to grow and that you're going to become a better person that you entered with. With. So I feel like that you should stay on it. You should give hard work. You should give dedication into what you're doing, and that you should stay on it and not give up.
So, not reread the whole question.
Do you believe that you can go through college without a growth mindset?
No. And I'm real heavy on growth mindset because I used to have okay, I can't do this, so I'm gonna give up. No, that's having a growth mindset. When you have a growth mindset, you are entering yourself into something new that you've never tried before. And we are probably gonna say the same thing. But I mean, it's okay to hear different people's opinions. It's okay to be open to new things. And not having that growth mindset, it will set you back a lot. Because that's how negativity comes upon you.
I'm next. Okay. So, to understand growth mindset, first, I think I want to hit a little bit more on fixed mindset. So, a fixed mindset is basically whenever you have the mindset that something that you don't already have, a skill that you may not already have, is something that you will never get. A talent that you don't have already is something that you will never inhabit. Something that you can't do is something that you can't do. And also, it's where you're not going to pick up a challenge. Anything that is difficult to you, you're going to do away with it. You're not going to do it anymore because it's something that you are struggling with. If you're struggling with it, it must not be for you. And that's the mindset that you have when it's fixed. But in order to move away from that mindset, you would have to adopt a growth mindset. And that's where you embrace challenges and difficulties and struggles because that's how you grow. That's how you actually grow. It's how you pick up new things and do new things and actually become good at them. Because things that you do one time and you're not good at the first time, or you're not going to ever be good at it. Yeah, that's true. Because you haven't done it again. You haven't tried to do it again. You haven't attempted to do it again. So therefore, you're not going to be good at it. But when you continue to try to do it and continue to put more effort into it, then it becomes easier to do it. And that's where that growth mindset comes in. Whenever you're able to embrace those challenges instead of dismissing them immediately. It also comes in whenever you're able to move away from things being so closed-minded and being so, oh, well, I've never done this before, so I must not be able to do it. Trying to, like she said before, like one of the soft skills that we said you should have, being open-minded. So being able to look at new things and kind of, yeah, this is going to be tough. I probably don't know how to do it, but I'm going to go ahead and try to do it at least try. So I would say growth mindset, just to sum it up, would be trying. And I feel like if you don't have a trying spirit, then college, you could probably go to college, but it's going to be very, very difficult for you. And you're going to have a hard experience because not only in academic, you will also have a hard experience in your social life. Because growth mindset expands so much further than just the classroom or your academic areas. It also goes into your social life. If you have a fixed mindset, it's going to be very hard to be around you, one. Two, it's also going to be hard for you to try new things and have new experiences. So you'll have a very, very boring college experience. So I would recommend adopting one at least.
Okay, so my answer is no. As young adults, we should always want to grow and be better than yesterday.
For me, I feel like I'm gonna say no as well. The reason being is because growth mindset is bigger than you. Growth mindset is for the students that you want to teach, the people you want to be around, the people that you want to be involved with. If you cannot grow, you can't teach your students to grow. Does anybody know what scaffolding is? Like when you're teaching scaffolding, things of that sort? When you're teaching scaffolding, the goal is for them to grow. And if you can't do that, that takes away from you being an effective teacher?
I'm gonna have to say no, because coming into college, you have to have a growth mindset. You just don't want to come to college and be all over the place without your mindset. Like, I'll pick up on what she said, as young adults, we have to have a growth mindset. So we'll know what we're going to be able to do in this work.
And there's a feedback question to that. How can you develop the said growth mindset while you're here or before you get here? How do you develop that?
Roll with the punches.
Sorry, what was that?
Roll with the punches.
Roll.
When she said adaptability, that is the only way to grow. Because you won't grow until you're in the situation where you have no choice.
I think to have a growth mindset, I feel like you should surround yourself with people who also have the same mindset as you. People who also want to grow and become a better person and not the person that they came to college as. As college, well, when I started college, I had a certain friend group that I was hanging around, but as I grew, I had to grow out of those friends. I had to become friends with people who have the same agenda as me, people who want to be better people, people who want to grow, people who have a growth mindset.
Like Skyler said, be around people that you know that want the same thing as you. Be around people that you know that I want to see you win, and I also want to see us win as a whole. Don't be around people that you know that, oh, we could go to this party, but we could do our work later. No, baby, I got class, I got work. We got to understand that we pay to go to school. We pay for our education. It's not free, so it's expensive. So which means, and it stresses me out, it's expensive. Which means if that party gonna stress me out, it's expensive. So if I'm gonna go to this party, best believe my work is gonna be done because school is expensive. When I say we broke, I mean we broke. So if they not where you at and not where you wanna be, okay, you best believe they'll be there with you because they gonna be the ones who fall. And don't nobody wanna fall because getting back up is hard. Getting out of depression is hard. Coming back to who you wanna be and what you wanna become as a person is hard. And I'm saying this because I am that person. I went through this. I came to college. Grandmother passed away. So I had to develop certain things that some people didn't have to develop at an early age. So having a growth mindset and knowing what you want to be and who you are as a person, just know who you are. Because if you don't know, you go lost.
I wanted to add to that. I definitely agree. Your friends and like the people you surround yourself with definitely will change your mindset. They'll change the way that you think about things, the way that you go about things, the way that you kind of do your everyday life. So if you surround yourself around people who maybe they do have the goal of graduating, and maybe they do have the same, kind of initiatives like you, and they want to do the same things as you, but they're not putting in the work to do the same things as you, then you're going to want to, if they say, oh, well, we could go to class, but, we could also go here, or here, or here, or here. And you're like, yeah, that does sound better. I mean, going to TJ Maxx would sound a little better than going to class, I would have to go ahead and go to TJ Maxx. And so, it's just really how you surround yourself. And that doesn't make that person a bad person or a person that's like not good or anything. It just makes them not on the same path as you. They don't want to do the same thing as you, apparently. They may have that same goal, but if they're not doing what you're doing, then they don't want to do the same thing that you're doing. They're not with that same goal. But to add on to being like your friend group, I would also say, like we've been saying, adaptability, but even past that, remember I don't know if everybody wants to be an educator here, but just because you're a teacher doesn't mean that you stop learning. So never stop learning. That's what really helps you adopt that growth mindset, because you are constantly putting yourself in places, and even when you're not putting yourself in those places on purpose, when you're in that place, you're still learning. Even if you may think that you're not learning, because I'm still learning from some of the fourth graders who are like telling me I'm interning in the fourth grade classroom right now, but they are telling me all these different things, and they're still teaching me different things and telling me all the different things like that, and I'm learning from them as much as they're learning from me. So you're continuously learning wherever you are, even if you think, I'm not gonna learn anything from these kindergartners, and they come up and they tell you this whole spectacular thing, and you never knew anything about it. You're always learning. So if you remember that wherever you are, it's easier to adopt that growth mindset, because you're always learning, always trying to absorb new information and new knowledge that could help you move further on your path.
I agree with everything Bill said, but to add on, you also have to have some self-discipline and self-motivation. You have to want it for yourself to grow.
And I just want to say, it is okay to party, but let me just give y'all some words. So, freshman year, I was the party girl, and coming out of that first semester, my grades were dropping. I had probably like B's, C's. So I had to step out of UAPB for a second. I went to another school at home when I could stay at home and get my mind right. I had to want it for myself to come back. I had to work at my other college, make all A's in order to come back here. And now I'm on the stage, talking to y'all, helping y'all figure out what y'all want to do and how y'all want to come into college. So I just want to say, you can party, but make sure you have your priorities straight and make sure you know what goal you want to set for yourself and how you want your future to be.
I would add on to what Scholar said. My freshman year, I was a party guy. Grades dropped. I kept questioning myself a lot. I wanted to drop out. I questioned it, what came to my mind several times. I wanted to drop out, but I also had to realize, being the first person in my family going to HBCU is where you really have to sit down and think about it. It's like, you want to make your mom and dad proud that you're the first child in the family to go to HBCU. So I had to say, okay, spring semester, okay, my grades dropped low, GPA dropped my freshman year, first semester, so I had the time over Christmas break to say, okay, these are my goals, these are the things I'm going to set for myself, is where I wanted to be on the dean's list, where I wanted to make straight A's. Is that I told myself I was not going to party. I was going to do my work, and if my work was done, I would go out that night. So, like Scott said, you really have to have that thing where you have to really sit back and get yourself together and come back stronger the next semester.
Since your goal after graduation, is to become an educator, what do you think are essential soft skills that educators should have?
I'll go with that one. So right now, I am a student teaching 11th grade at Donnelly High School. For me, I would say leadership is going to be one of your best assets. Though they're going to teach you, you also have to teach them. You have to have management in your classroom. You have to have leadership in your classroom because you are their guide. You're the reason that they're going to come to school and come into your class every day wanting to learn. Another thing is going to be being okay if things are not okay. Everything is not going to go the way it is on your lesson plan. Your lesson plan is not meant to stay the same because it may not go that way all the time. There may be some students at a different pace that you have to go back and teach. There may be certain assessments that you have to review. There may be certain students that don't show up, and that is okay. Do not question yourself as a teacher if things do not go as planned. Because then you will start questioning yourself, you will start questioning your mental health, and it's a downhill slope from there. Make sure that you know that just because certain things don't go right, that doesn't make you a bad teacher. It makes you a teacher. It makes you an effective teacher by knowing, okay, it didn't go right, but I'm still gonna fix this, I'm still gonna fix that, because at the end of the day, I have to teach my students so they can get to the next level, so they can learn something for the next level.
I would say two things that are two soft skills that you should have as a teacher, as an educator. I would say that one of them would be conflict resolution, or even just conflict management, problem solving skills, anything like that, as well as, sorry, blank on the other one. But I'm going to go into this conflict resolution. So whenever I say conflict resolution with, as an educator, I'm saying that in your classroom, you're going to have a lot of conflicts. Like she said, everything is not going to go to a T of what you planned in the lesson plan. Everything that you wrote down into the instruction part, everything is not going to go that way, because you're going to have a question, or you're going to have somebody who's not paying attention, or you're going to have this happen, or randomly we have a fire drill. Just things happen throughout the entire class period where you're going to have to keep on and keep on and keep on, keep changing it and keep changing it and keep changing it and keep changing it. Well, that's where the adaptability comes in. But you're going to have to keep changing things, and you have to keep making new solutions to each problem that occurs. Because there's always going to be something new that's coming through, like, oh, well, we got everybody that's going with this, but here's the issue. We got this problem right here. And instead of being so, don't delve too far into the problem that's happening. I would say try to step back from the problem, or step back from the situation overall, and try to look at the bigger view of how to fix it. Another thing with conflict resolution, you're not going to just have conflicts in the classroom. You're going to have conflicts outside of the classroom. You're not going to just have conflicts with students. You're going to have conflicts with your fellow coworkers, with administrators, with your principal, with parents. Things happen where you're not going to be on the same page, because none of us are the same person. So none of us have the same, values and principles and morals as everyone else. So things may differ. So you have to find some kind of common ground, and you have to be able to effectively communicate. I think that was my other one. To effectively communicate with others, so that way that you're able to fix the common, or find that common ground between you two. Kind of talking about the communication as an educator, I would say that's a big one, because you're not going to just be communicating with your peers and communicating with your coworkers and principals and things like that. So you're not just having to communicate with people who are in a higher position than you, but you're also going to have to communicate to those students. And you have to remember that they're not in the same space as you. So for me, you're communicating to fourth graders. So it's a little bit difficult to communicate such big ideas to such small minds, or such minds who haven't been exposed to as much as you have. So you have to be able to use the communication skills that you have to be able to break it down into different ways, so that way they're able to understand it in that way. You also have to be able to adapt that communication. Because sometimes the communication that you're using isn't effective, and so it's more harmful than helpful. So whatever communication that you're using could not be working for that environment. And you have to be able to reflect on that and be able to change it into a way that's going to be helpful for those around you and helpful for the students especially.
I would say understanding. There's a lot of educators that I know who's really not understanding students, or who want to even relate to students. So I say as an educator, you should be understanding and relatable to your students, because if you can't relate to them, you cannot make a relationship with them at all. It's not going to work. And also being okay with the child not talking. Maybe they don't want to talk. It's just being okay and understandable and relatable. Being understanding why they don't want to do their work today. You don't want to do your work? Okay. I understand. We're having a hard day. It's okay. I don't want to be here. You don't want to be here, but we're going to make the best of it. So like just trying to have like that connection with them and like just open up to them a little bit, because it's okay to open up to your students as an educator, not just them also just opening up to you all the time. So like I said, being understandable and relatable and being okay with them and having that relationship with them.
So I'm very glad I let Ricardo go before me, because mine is also understanding. I feel like as a teacher, you need to know where your student is coming from, know the environment that they are coming to school from, and be able to understand that, yes, sometimes they're not going to want to do their work. Sometimes they're going to be running around the classroom. Sometimes they're going to be talking too much. Sometimes they're going to have a bad attitude and want to bully the other students. You need to know this so you know how to teach them, how to encourage them, how to involve them in your classroom. You need to know and understand how they're going to be and how they might not learn like the other kids, or they might not learn as fast as the other kids. You need to be able to understand. And you need to be able to understand that they might not have anybody that's going to help them do their homework at home. Or they might not have a desk at home, or they might not have a pencil at home. You need to be able to provide those resources. Provide those resources at school so that they can have those at home.
I just thought about something. When you talk about adaptability, me personally, I like to call it shape-shifting. And the reason is because when you're in the classroom, another soft skill that you would need is being able to shape-shift. You have to play 30 different roles in the classroom. You're not just teacher. Your mom, your dad, psychologist, counselor, lunch lady, because they always ask you for snacks. Those kids are hungry. Okay, I'm going to say this as a kid. Please have something in the classroom for them. They're hungry. They're hungry. But seriously, you need to play all of these different roles in the classroom and be okay with jumping to that quickly. Like, you may have to play a mother in the classroom if you've never been a mother. You may have to play a father in the classroom if you've never been a father, but that's okay. Like, you have to be quick on your feet to be a teacher.
Okay, I'm going to open the floor. Any questions? Does anyone have any questions?
Hey, how y'all doing? My name is KT. That's it. But my name is Cedric. Okay, anyway. So, I had a question. So, how would y'all describe teaching autism kids from regular kids?
All I would have to say, even though I have not done it yet, all I would have to say is patience. You need to have patience when going into that classroom. And I'm not a STEM teacher.
I only ask because I have a brother that is autistic. So, and I know you definitely need patience because they learn very different and difficult than how we learn. Yeah.
I would say, see what they like and put that as a part of their education. There was an autistic student that I had worked with before. This was before I started my student teaching. And he really enjoyed CDs. So I'll use him as an example. If your student really enjoys CDs and you're in math at the time, right? And they like to hear the sound of that stuff. So let's say we want to do 2 + 2 is 4, right? We're going to rub 2 CDs together, rub 2 more, and then work on, okay, if I have 2 of these, they make this noise. I have 2 more of these, they make this noise. So now I'm at 4. You got to be able to pull out exactly what they like and use it to their advantage.
Okay. For students with autism, I would say that the best way to teach those kind of students would be differentiation. So basically looking at that kind of student and looking at what they need, and also looking at how you can teach them in a different way than you teach everyone else. And also looking at the access and accommodations that they may need. So looking at their IEPs and kind of seeing what kind of goals they have on the IEPs, and also what kind of skills they already have. because you want to teach them from what they already have and not teaching them what they already have. So you want to focus more on what skills they already inhabit, instead of focusing on what they do not have, or skills that they do not have. So that way that you can push them to where you need them to be. And the skills that we want them to have, the things that we want them to, skills that we want them to have, we are able to push them there because we know where they're starting from.
Another thing would be, I would put myself in their shoes. How would they think? Or how would the student with autism think? You know, put myself in their shoes and just close my eyes and just visualize. And once you visualize that moment, you'll be able to understand, okay, I'll work with them this way, I'll work with them this way. And like Perry said, find something they like this summer, this boy named Sam. He was autistic. He had a twin sister he loved being with, her name was Rainy. They loved being together. So me, as a teacher for that class that summer, I put Sam and Rainy together. But I also noticed once Sam was out of that comfortability and Rainy was not there, he shuts down. He will get on his phone and everything. So when Rainy was not there, what I did, I would go online and we would play games together. Like this is the website that I found, and me and him would play education games. So we would play within the classroom. So I noticed, like, because Rainy couldn't be there all the time. So I just found something that he would love to do, but in education form.
So we all know that teachers are not being paid as much as they should, especially since teachers are the foundation of everything that we have around here. So how is it, well, what is it like dealing with kids? Well, I won't say that. Let me rephrase it. What is it like providing for students in the classroom, as in how she was saying, bringing food, or providing pencils or paper? What does that have an effect on you personally in your personal lives?
I would say for me, because I do bring stuff from my students, you have to remember your why at all times. Because if you don't remember your why, it's going to change what you do for them, what you purchase for them, everything. You have to remember why I'm doing this, why I'm in this classroom. And sometimes you may not want to. I'm not going to sit here and say, okay, so if y'all enjoying rainbows all the time, I'm always going to want to do something. You're not. Let's be realistic, you're not. But if you remember why you're doing it, it gives you that small push that you need to keep doing. And I'm saying this because I had to learn this for myself. Take care of yourself. I'm going to say that. Like, now, like, that wasn't even a part of none of the questions. Please take care of yourself. When it comes to college, when it comes to teaching, whatever you do, please. Because it's hard. It's really hard. And we may not know what you're going through. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. What's small to you might be big to somebody else. Please take care of your mental health. Because there's only one you. And all of your students are going to need you. Because you're you. And that's just that.
I'm so proud. I see these students almost every day, and I just met Autumn, and I feel like she's mine too. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our student panel about soft skills and college success. Give our panelists one more round of applause.